Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler, and again, thanks for joining us wherever you are. We appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button because you get to hear from really amazing people, and that's what we're going to do right now. It's time for Who's Got Game, where we partner with Fullscreen to bring on incredibly talented people, and that is who we have joining us. We've got Mike Rashid. Mike, thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So one thing we always like to do with these segments and talking to people who are creators like you is how you got your start. What made you decide to go into this field to begin with?
It's funny because I never decided to go into this. It just kind of engulfed me. Years ago, I say around 2000, I was doing personal training independently in around 2010, 2011. And in 2012, I believe Instagram was the first thing to really kick off, but I had a Facebook page, I had a YouTube page, but I was just using it to kind of show my clients progress. And I thought showing video of their progress was a lot cooler than just showing a before and after picture. So people were liking it, and I was getting more clients, more business because of the stuff that I was showing. And then every now and then I would post myself doing some of my crazy over the top workouts. And people just really liked it. And then the content started getting, becoming viral, and, you know, the following grew and grew. And I had no idea that this was going to become a big thing. And so it happened very, I guess, by accident. It wasn't an articulated plan for me to build a brand and grow my personal brand and these things, because that's what you have now. People are, you know, going in with the intent of building a specific brand for social media, you know, to have a career and whatnot. And I never tried to do that. It just kind of happened. And I just try to keep up with it and stay ahead of it.
Well, looking at it from the fitness standpoint, you know, and you being the expert and people going to you for advice, what is one thing that you think people overlook the most when it comes to fitness?
What do they overlook? When you ask that question, I mean, let's identify the problem so I can really understand the context. Overlook in terms of what? People not doing it right, people not being consistent, like what?
Let's take it to a broader, I guess, standpoint. So thinking about it from the standpoint of a lot of people are looking to try to get in shape, but gyms are closed right now. And so they're trying to figure out, to some extent, you know, they're trying to figure out what they could do. What's one big thing that they should maybe pay attention to if somebody's just starting to get into a fitness routine? What's one piece of advice you'd have for them?
To try their best to make it a lifestyle, just to incorporate it in their everyday thing, make it a thing. Because with me, before COVID happened and things got closed, I was already running a challenge, a 30-day challenge. I've been doing this for about 3 years. And my intent with the challenge was for people who don't have access to the gym or are not comfortable going to the gym, and showing creative ways and fun ways, challenging ways to work out and get in shape. I'm talking about really good shape by optimizing their nutrition and finding things to do at home or in a park or things of that nature. So I've been doing this challenge for a few years with all body weight stuff, no gym required, no equipment required, and people love it. So I think and I'm able to do that because I've done that for years. This is like my life. I've always been in shape. I've always been active and physically fit. So I feel like when people really embrace it fully and totally, they will get comfortable and even just think of creative ways to work out without having a gym. I provide that for people who don't have that, who don't know what to do, or, you know, they're just lost. A lot of people are lost right now because they don't have access to the gym. And I understand it, I get it, but you don't need the gym. That's just one way. There's so many ways to skin a cat. We can't allow the fact that businesses are closed or gyms are closed impede our physical fitness and our health, because listen, this is the most valuable asset we got is our bodies and our health. If we're not healthy, we're not good for anybody in our lives, you know?
One thing you brought up there was nutrition, in talking about that aspect of things. Now, for a lot of people during the pandemic, they started trying out different things, cooking more at home. For you personally, is there anything that you changed with your eating habits during this?
During the pandemic, no. I I had changed my nutrition for a couple months in March, April, a little bit of May, but it wasn't because of the pandemic. It was because I had an injury. I'm a professional boxer as well, and I was preparing for a fight in March, and I actually tore a tendon in my left arm that connects the bicep to the forearm. So I had surgery, and then for the recovery, to help speed that up, nutrition does come into play. So I went on an anti-inflammatory diet, high nutrition. It did have me eating more than I typically eat, but it did help me recover a lot faster than I would have recovered just by, just keeping everything the same. But my typical protocol of eating, is going to be, is not common, but I eat one meal a day. So um, it's a form of intermittent fasting, but I just choose to eat one big meal a day.
Well, you brought up the boxing aspect, and I guess I kind of have a two-part question. One, I guess, why did you want to turn pro originally? Because I know that you boxed when when you were an amateur. I think you have a couple of gold gloves, if I remember that right. And then you decided to go pro with this. What was it that made you want to turn pro into boxing?
Yeah, man, I absolutely love the sport of boxing. It's a science, right? It's an art. Um, it's so mental, and it's so difficult to do. But once you are in there and you're doing it, it's so rewarding. So it really bothered me that I never turned pro, So um, what my life is now, I can kind of, I'm fortunate enough to be able to focus on certain things that really make me happy. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna turn pro, and it was also very challenging for me, and I need those challenges. I'm the type of person that I need gut checks in my life because I just never want to, life can be hard sometimes, right? But when you learn lessons, you apply what you've learned, life becomes a lot easier. And I notice my life gets easier over time because I'm a student of life. And so I was like, you know what? I don't want to get soft, mentally. So I got to stay sharp. So I stay sharp by giving myself gut checks and doing things that I know are hard to do. So I feel like that helps me level up and grow. So that was a reason why I did it as well. But I just didn't want to close the book of my life without have becoming a professional boxer, because boxing honestly is one of the things I just love. I love it to death. So I'm very happy that I stuck with my plan and executed it.
I like it. That's almost like it's avoiding a future regret if you hadn't gone into that.
Correct. Correct.
One thing I do want to I want to ask you just along the lines of boxing, and I want to thank you for being here with us. But coming up soon, Mike Tyson's getting back in the ring. Roy Jones Jr. is getting back in the ring. Who do you think's going to win that fight?
Man, don't ask me that question. I don't know. Uh, I'm not going to pick anybody. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the show and just watch it as a fan. I love both of those guys. Both of those guys were huge inspirations to me when I was growing up and coming up. They both are so iconic in the sport. Mike Tyson transcends sports and transcends time periods of just cultural. Uh, his cultural presence spans from the 80s to now, and is still very prevalent and popular and cool and inspiring. So listen, I'm just going to enjoy the show, but I want to know, who do you think is going to win? Who you got?
If Roy Jones Jr. is still quick enough, I think he's got a shot. But if Mike Tyson, I've seen those videos of him, if he can land a couple of those blows, I don't know how anybody could stand up to that, even as old as he is.
Right, I agree. I agree. The man still got it. Both of them still got it. The thing is, Mike has been inactive for a long time. I did a podcast with him, a few months ago, and it's so interesting because he was like, I don't want to box ever again. I don't even like working out no more. So to see him switch it up, just so all of a sudden, it just makes me worry that I don't know if he's going to be in shape like Roy's going to be in shape, because Roy just stopped fighting 2 years ago, and he's very active because he's training a lot of guys and he gets in there and spars with them. So we shall see.
Yeah.
We shall see.
I think the bottom line is it's going to be an interesting fight. I definitely want to watch it. But Mike, I want to thank you for joining us. I want to encourage everybody to check out your channel, check out everything that you're doing, staying in shape, and thanks for being here with us, to talk about what you do and sharing that with us here on Digital Trends Live. Really, really appreciate it.
For sure. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure.